Hi, my name is Erin, and boy, do I have a story for you today. This is a two-part story you don't want to miss. Subscribe and hit the notification button for part 2. Spoiler alert, be sure to stick around till the very end of part 1. You'll want to hear it all. Grab your alpha tumbler or cup and get ready. If you don't have yours yet, go to alphatumblersandcups.com and get yours today. We get our inspiration from you. Share your workplace drama with us at stories@alphatumblersandcups.com, and we may write a story inspired by you. Like, share, comment, and subscribe. Let's dive right into Denise's story. My father, my hero, the night my dad saved my life. Hi, my name is Denise, and I was 16 at the time, convinced that popularity at school trumped everything else. I remember that night like it was yesterday, the night I thought I knew was best for me, and my dad, the fire chief, a proud firefighter, was being too strict. It all started when I heard about this party, the kind of event that could elevate my status among the popular kids. Everyone was going to be there, and of course, I couldn't miss out. So I did what any teenager would do. I asked my mom first. To my surprise, she said yes, with the condition I get my dad's approval too. And that's where I hit the first roadblock. My dad, he was always the strict one. Being a firefighter, he had this no-nonsense approach to life, especially when it came to his only daughter. So when he came home, I took a deep breath and asked him about the party. Of course, his answer was a firm no. I couldn't believe it. I felt like my world was crumbling around me. In my mind, I had already earned my cool kid points, and this party was the ticket to maintaining them. But instead, my dad pointed out the obvious. My grades were slipping, and if I couldn't prioritize my studies, then partying was out of the question. I was furious. I stormed off to my room, feeling like I was suffocating under his rules. In my teenage rebellion, I decided I would go to that party, regardless of what my dad said. I plotted my escape, waiting for the right moment to slip out unnoticed. As I sat in my room, seething with frustration, I knew I had to devise a plan to escape my dad's watchful eye and attend the party. My mind raced with possibilities, each one more daring than the last. Eventually, I settled on a plan, and the first step was finding an accomplice. I glanced at my phone, scrolling through my contacts until I landed on Sarah's name. Sarah was my closest friend, and she shared my desire to break free from the confines of our parents' rules. With a quick text explaining my predicament, I laid out my plan and asked for her help. Sarah's response was immediate, filled with excitement and a hint of nervousness, but she was in, ready to aid in my rebellion. We exchanged a flurry of messages coordinating the details of our escape like masterminds planning a heist. The night of the party arrived, and I watched the clock tick closer and closer to the time of the party. My heart raced with anticipation. As Sarah's car pulled up down the street from my house, she texted me, and I knew it was now or never. With bated breath, I crept out of my room and made my way to the front door, careful to avoid any creaky floorboards that might betray my escape. My dad was downstairs engrossed in some paperwork, unaware of the scheme unfolding right under his nose. As I reached for the doorknob, my hand trembled with excitement and fear. I paused for a moment, steeling myself for what was to come. Then, with a deep breath, I turned the knob and slipped down to the night, leaving behind the safety of my home for the allure of the party. Sarah parked further down the street to avoid drawing attention to the sound of the engine idling in the quiet night. With Sarah by my side, we embarked on our adventure down the dark streets with a sense of reckless abandon. It was exhilarating, the rush of adrenaline coursing through my veins as we raced towards our destination. As we pulled up to the house, the thumping of the bass of the music greeted me even before I stepped out of the car. The air was alive with anticipation, charged with the promise of a night to remember. I could feel the excitement as I made my way to the front door, the sound of laughter and chatter growing louder with each step. For a moment, I felt like I belonged. As I looked around the room, I couldn't help but smile at the sight of familiar faces mingling with strangers, all brought together by the promise of a good time. We made our way through the crowd, weaving between bodies that swayed and danced to the music. We greeted friends with hugs and high fives, letting it be known that we had arrived and were ready to make the most of the night. Despite the lingering thoughts of my dad's strict rules and the potential consequences of getting caught, I pushed them to the back of my mind. This party was worth it, worth every moment of freedom and exhilaration it offered. In that moment, surrounded by friends, I knew without a doubt that this party was everything I hoped for and more. It was a night of pure, unadulterated joy, a night that would stay with me. But that feeling didn't last long. The party quickly spiraled out of control. People were drinking and smoking and doing things they shouldn't do. I found myself overwhelmed, so I sought refuge in the bathroom to catch my breath. And then, it happened. A scream pierced through the music, followed by the sound of panic. I rushed out of the bathroom to see flames engulfing the living room. Fear gripped me as I realized the severity of the situation. Wow, this story is getting good. Stay tuned for part 2. There are twists and turns ahead, surprises waiting to unfold. I promise you don't want to miss it. So refresh your drink and grab some popcorn, settle in, and get ready for part 2. It's going to be one wild ride.